Title: The Echo of Everyone. This is a true story and reality of me, echoing what I could not say in reality. I guess it's time to start learning how to live and be me again. In the heart of a city that never listened, there lived a man named Elijah. You wouldn't notice him in a crowd, not because he wasn't kind, not because he wasn't capable, but because he never let himself stand tall. Elijah was the man everyone relied on, but never truly saw. A nod of approval, a half smile from someone, a relieved thank you was all the payment he sought. And so, day by day, he traded pieces of himself for the comfort of others. He worked a job he didn't love, smiled when he didn't feel like it, and said yes when every bone in his body screamed no. His life was a patchwork of other people's expectations, his mother's wish for stability, his friend's need for a constant shoulder, his boss's demand for excellence. He met them all with quiet compliance, carrying their burdens like stones in his chest. But at night, when the world grew quiet and the noise of others faded, Elijah would sit in his apartment, alone, surrounded by the silence of everything he wasn't. He'd stare at the guitar in the corner. Dusty and out of tune, he used to write music. Not for anyone else, just for himself. Songs filled with fire, with grief, with beauty, songs that bled honesty. But over time, he'd stopped. There was no applause, no validation, and so he thought, what's the point? One rainy evening, he stood in front of the mirror. His reflection was tired, worn, hollow behind the eyes, and in that mirror, he saw not himself, but a collection of masks, layered one over the other. The mask of the good son, the reliable friend, the agreeable employee, the always okay man. But behind it all, Elijah, the real Elijah, was buried so deep, he couldn't hear his own voice anymore. It came to a breaking point when he forgot his own birthday. No one else remembered either. He had been so busy making space for everyone else that he had slowly erased himself. He sat on the edge of his bed that night, soaked in a quiet despair. Then, almost without thinking, he picked up the guitar. His fingers trembled, the strings were stiff and unfamiliar. But he played slowly, softly. A tune formed, not for anyone else, not for performance, not to be liked. It was raw, unfinished, true. That night, for the first time in years, Elijah cried, not because someone hurt him, but because he had finally let himself feel what he had been hiding from. The sorrow of self-neglect, the grief of lost identity. The next morning, he didn't answer every message. He said no to something that didn't feel right. He called in sick, not because he was ill, but because he needed to breathe. He wasn't cured, he wasn't suddenly bold or selfish, but something had shifted, a small rebellion against the quiet erasure of himself, a decision to no longer live only in the echoes of everyone else, because pleasing everyone had left him invisible. And now he was learning to be seen by the only person who truly mattered, himself. What's your story? Do you also feel like you are living in the shadows of yourself? If yes, then it's time to get out of it, because it doesn't worth it. No matter how nice you might be, people are still going to find errors in whatever you do. Subscribe and follow me on all social media platforms @True Story Untold.